All right. Once again, thank you and welcome to the Magna Carta Sports Podcast Network. I'm here as your host, Wes. We have Alex with us tonight. We're going to be discussing the NBA Northwest Division. There are five teams in the division: the Blazers, the Minnesota Timberwolves, Oklahoma City Thunder, the Nuggets, and the Jazz.
Mhm.
So this is a pretty interesting division. So far, off the top of your head, what do you think so far? The best team is expected to be the Denver Nuggets.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on them?
I think you got a point, but I'm not gonna go so far as to say they may be the best team. I got to do some more, looking at how they start off the preseason and everything, and see how they gel. Right.
Mhm.
I haven't heard the word on Jamal Murray. I'm still waiting on that. I'm also like looking at them because I see that they got rid of Morris. They got rid of Barton. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They weren't superstars, but they made a
yeah,
difference on the team.
yeah.
But I'm excited to see how they turn out this season. Because especially them, they've been making it kind of far in the playoffs. They played as a team, but for some reason they never got over that hump. So I definitely want to see how that turns out. Um, I'm actually excited to see how the Timberwolves turn out, though.
They
Like the
they're they're
Timberwolves,
they're going to be interesting, like you said. Like they picked up. They had a really big trade this summer. They
yeah,
brought in Rudy Gobert.
yeah,
In division, they brought him in. Traded away a bunch of five first-round draft picks, three or four players, and another big kid that they drafted out of I think Auburn this year. So
right,
it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But Minnesota Timberwolves are stacked. Like they have
exactly.
their starting lineup is with Anthony Edwards, Cat. They got Jaden McDaniels. I like him a lot. He's 6'9". He's
Russell's
big.
still there,
Russell's
you
still
know.
there. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna have a really really good team. There's a lot of athletes on the team,
Yeah,
and it looks like everyone is signed long term. So
right.
even if it doesn't go exactly how you want it,
Hmm.
there's a likelihood that the draft picks don't really become anything anyway because
Right,
you know what I mean. Like Anthony Edwards haven't even signed his extension yet,
right.
so it looks like a lot, but at the end of the day, I think the GM understood. He's like, you know what, we're gonna be here for 7 or 8 years. It don't matter. So.
Right, right.
Uh,
I think that Gobert pickup is definitely going to be good for Cat too,
mhm.
because I feel like, with his position, he's a stretch forward, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I feel
exactly.
like, he's not going to be as confused as to should he play the big man role or should he play like he going to know his position now, and
Mhm,
try to just dominate that, and just
mhm.
kind of give him more space. So I think that's going to work. I want to see how that turns out.
Yeah, for sure. Like they gave the Grizzlies real headaches last year. Like the
Right,
Grizzlies ended up making up to the semifinals and they played well, but the
right.
Timberwolves were the better team. They were
Okay, that's true.
physically the better team. You know what I mean? Like it'll be interesting to see how Anthony Edwards takes another step after being in the playoffs.
Right.
Hopefully, you know what I mean. My thing with them is I wish they had like D'Lo is good. He's just like I wish they had a point guard. You know
He's
what I
all
mean? That
right
can get
though, bro.
everybody.
Like he can
Yeah,
pass
yeah.
though. He can
Yeah,
pass.
he could do some things. It's just like in terms of defense, like you want to have a good defender at the point of attack. You know what I
Right.
mean? You want to have somebody. So he can score on offense for sure.
Yeah.
If it wasn't the ego thing, his best thing if it wasn't ego, he would
Yeah.
come off the bench. He would come
Yeah.
off average 15 or 20 points a game, and then
Yeah.
be able to go from there. But they'll see how it goes. The GM from the president from the team, I think Tim Connolly, he
Hmm.
came over from Denver, so
Oh, okay.
he has a history of drafting great players and
Hmm.
having their team cycle through people. So it's gonna be interesting with how they do this year for sure.
I'm definitely looking forward to them, because even with them, like that early exit from the playoffs last year, I'm sure they was disappointed about that. So they want to
Mhm.
definitely make a name now. Like,
Yeah,
no easy pass throughs for them. So I definitely want to see that.
for sure. The
Yeah.
team a team in that division that's gonna be interesting are the Portland Trailblazers.
Okay.
They are going to be interesting. So they have um, their team. They picked up um, Jeremy Grant. They
Yeah,
got
Jeremy
Damian
Grant.
Lillard. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely gonna be,
yeah.
a
They
good.
got Anthony Simmons played well last year. He signed his contract. They got Gary Payton Jr. who joined the team.
Right.
With the other young boy, Nazir Little. He's
He's
6 foot
good.
nine. Yeah, so
Yeah, he's good.
you're starting wings like Portland's had a problem for years of
Yeah.
not having like real wings that
Wings.
play. So it's
Yeah.
going to be interesting to watch them play this year.
So without like, let's just say like now, because we haven't seen too much of them without CJ,
Uh-huh.
you know. So what do you think that outcome is going to look like? You know what I mean? Like without CJ in that backcourt.
Without CJ in the backcourt, I think a lot of what CJ brought, that off the ball scoring,
Yeah.
is going to be helped to be replaced with by Anthony Simmons. He's
Right.
he averaged about 20 something points a game after Damian Lillard got hurt last year.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I
He
think
stepped up.
what encouraged them to trade CJ was the fact that they thought, yeah, you know what I mean, like he's ready. He's
Yeah.
ready to go.
Yeah.
Portland has a long history of developing guards. Like they've had Dame Lillard, they've had CJ McCollum, they've had Trent. Um, uh, is it Gary Trent Jr.? Gary Trent Jr.
Yeah.
They had like, you know what I mean, they just had people to just come in
Brandon Roy.
and it just,
Yeah.
yeah, if you're playing against Damian Lillard every week, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
eventually your game got to come up. So
Yeah.
they've done a good job of developing their players. The wings is what they've had the trouble with.
Right.
Hopefully Jeremy Grant can stay healthy. We can ball out this year.
Yeah. What do you think about because I thought he was a good big man at one, you know. What do you think about Nurkic?
Nurkic can ball. Like
Nurkic could
he's
ball like
yeah, he can ball. I'm
mm,
just worried. Like what happens is in the playoffs is that they target him. Like
yeah.
the NBA. Like what happens a lot of teams is by the time the playoffs come, they
Mm,
basically stop playing big guys. But for the regular
mm,
season, all teams you see that with New Orleans, you see that with you know what I mean, like the Lakers or any
right.
they for 82 games they figure it's a lot of games. Let's just have a big guy out there. You know what I mean, who
Right.
defend the wings. And then once the playoffs come, everybody kind of shrinks down and goes small ball. So
Right. That makes
it's gonna
sense.
be cool. Yeah, but he can ball. His issue is just he just keeps getting hurt. Like
He
it's
was
like
getting hurt.
every
That
year.
season that he got hit, the last time he got hurt, that was a big
Hmm.
because I felt like before he got hurt, you know, he was definitely making a name for himself a little bit, you know what I
Hmm.
mean? And then he got hurt, he felt, you know, and then sometimes that injury is hard to recover from that. So, you know,
Hmm.
staying healthy is key.
Yeah, for
Staying healthy
sure.
is
Like
definitely key.
yeah, like you said before, like I think with the overall like setup that the NBA has now, it's just interesting. So you look at those teams, you can basically say like, hey, the Nuggets going to be in the playoffs.
Right.
The Minnesota is going to be fighting for a spot in the playoffs, and the Blazers going to be fighting for a spot in the playoffs. And then the
Right.
Thunder also the Thunder got some players as well that they looking to make a move.
I mean,
Now.
with the Thunder, I feel like they still building on that, you know, especially now with the injury of Shet, you know, that's gonna be a big loss for them. You know, I can't even lie. Like, you know, so they have to definitely try to like use whatever pieces they have to kind of just replace him, you know, not necessarily replace him as a player, but just fill in that missing void. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you. And
Yeah,
and overall, like I said, like they're probably too young to really compete. When you look at
yeah.
this division alone between the Nuggets, the Timberwolves, the Blazers, you
Mhm.
got Golden State, you got the Lakers, you got the Clippers.
Come on
It's
now.
the West is just really too deep
That,
for them to
that's why
really.
I'm comparing it to. That's why I'm saying. I'm not
Yeah.
just saying it from the players that's on it. It's just the
Mhm.
competition.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. You know what I
I
mean?
think overall, like there was a time where the NBA didn't have a lot of depth, where it was kind of
Right.
felt like it was just like LeBron and the Miami Heatles or
Yeah.
whatever. But
Right.
like every team now, every team is there might be one or two
It's
teams
fact.
that don't have players. Like you know what I mean, every
Yeah.
team has a bunch of dudes now.
Yeah.
So it's you know it's been interesting
Yes,
for
sir.
sure. What are your thoughts on so what are your thoughts on the Jazz?
Um, I still like the Jazz. I still like the Jazz, but that's a big loss as well, right? Like without
Hmm.
Donovan Mitchell, like that's a big piece. You know,
Yeah.
like they don't have a primary scorer, I would say. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like that go-to, like that closer. I would even say a closer. Mike Conley, he's clutch. You know,
Yeah.
he has clutch moments, but
Hmm.
it's a difference, right? You know,
Hmm.
Donovan Mitchell is definitely an attacker. He's more of an aggressor, you
Hmm.
know. So they definitely gonna have to find a way to kind of build that chemistry again, you know,
Hmm.
but and just fill that missing void. I like Jordan Clarkson. Jordan Clarkson is actually
Yeah.
somebody I thought like even last season he was definitely like an improved player. I see like flashes of improvement every year. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So he's definitely getting better. I wouldn't be surprised if they like tried to move into a starting position. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
Is he
Yeah.
starting this year?
He's with Donovan Mitchell gone. He probably will be starting. Yeah,
We'll see, yeah, because it's just
yeah,
like I can see him doing that, but sometimes to keep that like that aura, like I can see them just keeping him at 6 man, but
yeah.
like he's definitely more improved, so I'm definitely gonna see some glimpse of that. But I don't know, they still have a fighting chance of being in the playoffs though.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like their goal right now is to like to bottom out. Then Danny Ainge is their overall president or
Hmm.
whatever up there. So I'm
Hmm.
sure his desire is to next year the number one expected draft picks will be Victor Wembanyama.
Right.
He's like 7'2". He looks everybody's comparing him to Giannis and stuff like that. So I
Hmm.
think he picked up Danny Ainge picked up I think like 12 draft picks this year alone. So
Wow.
they're going to be ready to make a move next year. So they're hoping that they can get some kind of player in there, somebody who can replace Donovan Mitchell and his overall talent. I
Yeah.
think the big dude that they drafted is going to be, I believe his last name's Walker. He's another
Okay.
big guy. Like he looks like he can be lesser Rudy Gobert type of player. So he's going to be a little
Right.
while for them to build up.
Yeah.
Everyone's looking to get some 6'8" wings, so eventually they're going to look to do that. But
Right.
I expect them to trade off more players. Like they're probably going to
Right.
trade off Malik Beasley. They're going to trade off a few other players they just signed.
Easy. Yeah.
Um, what's the boy name from Cleveland? Um, they sorry, just a moment. They just signed
From Cleveland,
Cleveland.
who they had talking about Utah.
Yeah, they just signed Colin Sexton. He came over in the
That's who
trade
they
for
got. You're right.
the
Now that's a
trade.
good
Yeah,
piece
yeah,
addition. You know what I mean?
yeah,
They still got Rudy Gay. I'm also trying to see what THT do over there if they give him some playing time.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's gonna be interested. I think what they're gonna do is give him the ball and just
Yeah.
let's see what he can do. It's like say like I feel like he can average some points.
Hmm.
Hopefully they let Horton Tucker and Colin Sexton start, and
Yeah.
then yeah, just see what you got in those players. See what they can do. They got the young boy out of Kansas,
Yeah.
Okc
Yeah.
Agbaji.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. He
so
was tough. Yeah.
they got a lot of young players over there. So we'll see how it goes. I'm sure if you're a Jazz fan right now, you hoping y'all just lose every game and get the number one draft pick.
That's the thing, some of these teams, like even though they have pieces, you just got to be honest. It's about looking towards the future, right? So it's like some of these teams, you might see them tanking, on purpose, just to kind of rebuild that team up, because losing somebody like Donovan Mitchell, sometimes you have to kind of start from the bottom again, or you have to kind of rebuild, blow the team up a little bit. So
For sure. And that's the
yeah.
thing. That's the thing too is like I think the worst place you can be at. Like I used to be an Atlanta Hawks fan, and
Mm.
like you would win a bunch of games and you never have a real shot at making the finals.
Right,
So it's like,
right.
yeah, we don't have anyone that's in the top 25 best players in the league. So you're like, why am I doing this? You know what I
You
mean? So
gotta
but
look at you gotta look at champion. You gotta look at championship. Like winning the regular season is cool. Like, but now you gotta be like, okay, who's gonna face these championship caliber teams? You know what I mean? Like, what type of players can compete against this? So, not saying that because obviously, I think right now we are seeing like not so much teams that have like big threes or anything like that, but even teams that's just like, let's say the Miami Heat, for example, right?
mhm,
You got teams like that that's just fighters,
mhm,
Bucks, they
yeah,
fight, they have Giannis, but like you can
yeah,
see all players like playing their part.
yeah,
So, you just want to get players surrounded like that, and I
yeah,
think some of these teams have it, not necessarily
mhm,
saying that they need a LeBron or something like that, but
yeah,
even the Timberwolves, like
mhm,
you may see like a big fight from them, to
yeah,
kind
for
of
real.
get to that next level. But
Yeah,
yeah, man.
I'm hoping Anthony Edwards take that. Like he has all the talent in the world. I'm hoping he
Yeah.
goes from being like 18 points a game to being like, yo,
26, 20.
I'm that dude. Like I'm
Yeah.
hoping he takes that step now. Whereas like,
Yeah.
yo, I'm that dude. So, what are your thoughts? Who do you think wins the division?
I'm gonna go with Timberwolves.
The Timberwolves. Okay,
I'm gonna go with
okay.
Timberwolves.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Rudy Gobert is a top 10 defense of
Yes, sir.
himself. Like him alone is going to be a top 10 defense. And
Just
then
standing there.
yeah, I'm hoping Jaden McDaniels he takes
Mhm.
that next step because
Right.
he's the player that like if he takes that step to become a legit 3-and-D wing,
Yeah.
they have a shot. If him
Yeah.
and then Anthony Edwards, if they take those steps, they're gonna be good.
Right. Yeah.
So
I
again,
even like Nas Reed, like not no bias. I know he's from Jersey
yeah,
too,
yeah,
but it's just like I
from
feel like he
Jersey.
got potential, bro. I feel like he got potential.
Yeah,
Like
they
he
they
just
they
gotta,
they definitely balled out. He's found a nice place for himself in the league as a big man
yeah,
that can shoot the three and play a
yeah,
little backup defense. So he's found a
yeah,
spot with them that he's balling. So,
sure.
who do you think is the best player in the division? You got Damian Lillard, you got Anthony Edwards, you got Jokic. Who do you think?
I'm,
Who do you think is gonna have the best season
I'm gonna go Dame Lillard. I'm gonna go Dame Lillard.
on that comeback
Um,
tour?
he back to work, like I don't think he was, necessarily like one of the spotlights of last year. So I feel like he still wants to make that name. He's still hungry. Like he
Hmm.
still don't have a ring yet. So I think he
Hmm.
still, is chasing that. So I feel Damian Lillard is gonna be that guy next year still, bro.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah, it's gonna be interesting. Like you said, like I want to see what the Nuggets do because, like I said, if Jamal Murray's back this year.
Oh man.
They got yeah KCP on the team as well, and then
Right.
Ish Smith, a bunch of other players. But it's gonna be interesting to see what happens because there's between the Nuggets, the Blazers, and the Timberwolves. Those guys are walking in the training camp thinking we can win a
Uh-huh.
championship.
Right.
It might not be realistic, but in their
Gotta
mindset,
talk about that.
they're like, yo, we have enough talent to do what we need to do. And the
Right.
Western Conference is so deep, but like those are really talented teams, and we'll see how
Right.
it comes out for sure.
Hmm. Yeah, Jamal Murray coming back is a definitely different ball game. Um, Carter, no,
Uh,
Mike,
uh,
what's
uh,
his name? Michael,
Michael Porter Jr.
Michael Porter Jr. Yeah,
Yeah,
like I'm definitely like trying to see what he's up to. You know what I mean? Like, cause he definitely got that shot and that range. So like having him
yeah,
as a wing is
yeah,
also like different. So
yeah.
we
And it's
waiting
a
on
little
him.
bit it's a little bit scary because he's had two back surgeries already. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? Like
at a
that's
young age.
yeah, like that isn't a good look at all. But
Yeah,
we'll see how it goes. But he's if he's able to really take that step because he's a perfect complement. He don't really
right,
need the ball a lot, but he can shoot it. He can
right.
put the ball on the floor. He can do a lot of different
He was
things.
another
So
he was another player that I saw improving, like ever since he got in the league. Like he playing
mhm.
different, earning his minutes.
Yeah,
So
for real. Yeah,
yeah,
he's a starter now. He just signed a big contract last year before he got hurt.
right,
Like he signed it in that year. He played out, and then he got hurt the following year. So they signed him for
right.
200 million, I believe. So he's interesting to
200.
really show what he's worth as well. So yeah, not for sure. This is a good conversation here. And
Don't
then
don't forget, we still got players. You still got DeMarcus on there on the Nuggets. You still got
yeah,
Aaron
yeah,
Gordon.
DeMarcus Cousins.
DeMarcus Cousins still there.
Hmm.
Bruce Brown from the Nets is on there now.
Hmm.
Like, he's a hustle player. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So
and they got Jeff Green on there as well. Like
Jeff Green.
Yeah, Jeff's always been an underrated player. So
I like Bones too, the young boy, Highland. He's all
yeah,
right.
Highland.
Yeah, he's all right.
The Nuggets are deep, bro. Like they are if they can stay healthy, they're gonna be
But don't we
yeah.
say that every year though? Like we've been saying that for a little while now. I mean, I'm just saying.
That's a fact. Yeah, and then
Yeah, I
last year
mean,
they had both of their dudes get hurt. So yeah,
yeah,
all depends on health this year. Like I say, if they're health, I want to see the Clippers healthy, the Nuggets
yeah,
healthy, the Lakers healthy. Like that would be a crazy playoff
yeah,
with all those teams like, being able to get there with no injuries. We'll
exactly.
see, yo, who's the best.
Yeah, because it's like injuries, it's hard to really tell. Like when somebody, especially one of your best players, they go
Yeah,
down, it's really
mhm,
hard to tell if that team who actually beat them could have beat them with the best
yeah,
player. So
exactly.
it's just like, yeah, I
Yeah, for
want to see
sure.
everybody healthy, right?
Yeah, for sure.
The
So, I
season,
mean,
man.
it's a great chat this week. Next week we're looking
Sure.
to talk a little bit about the another conference. We'll talk to
Yeah,
y'all more about that, and then we'll move on from there. So, talk a little bit about NBA predictions, who's going to be NBA MVP,
yeah.
and just go from there. So, any final words?
Yeah, man. I'm just trying to see like which team that we just named, because let's just focus on that conference, just
Mhm.
seeing who's hungry enough, man. That's it, man. It's just like move towards the season and see who's getting better, man.
For sure.
More competition. That's what we
Yeah,
want for
for
the
sure.
for the league. You know what I
All
mean?
right, boss. Thank you so much for your time tonight. Have a good night,
Yes,
and we'll
sir.
look to follow up.
All right, man. Take it
Have a
easy.
good one. Bye.
All right.